Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of the Fraudcast.
Banana.
We were just talking how the James Bond theme song basically could be summed up in a series of bananas.
Yeah, as is most of things in the 60s.
Yeah.
It's just Batman, which leads us, not the Batman, the banana into today's topic. We're starting.
We're kicking off our series of the Bond films today with the first one, Dr.No.
Technically, we did mention this briefly when we first started watching it, but it is not technically the first Bond film.
Yeah.
1954 TV movie adaptation of Casino Royale with CIA agent Jimmy Bond came out. We don't really count that one because
nobody does.
Because what respectable grown man goes as Jimmy? So
yeah.
That guy. So we're starting with Dr.No, with the den of racism and casual sexism.
Yeah.
Also known as the 60s.
Yeah, Dr.No was released in 1962.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of weird, just kind of casual racism in this movie. And then there's more overt stuff, too.
Yeah.
Like, and,
we'll
get to that later. But
first off, we're going to start off with our regular segment that we're going to try to do for the Bond movies.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the opening sequence.
Yeah, the titles.
Yeah. So this one we discussed is pretty simplistic. It's
of course it starts off with the now iconic gun barrel,
which is not actually Sean Connery, but the stunt double.
Yeah, the man who did all the stunts for Connery, as well as I think he choreographed most of the stunts in the movie.
I wouldn't be surprised. This was a very low budget movie for what it is.
For a major motion picture, I would say it is.
For what the series would become. Absolutely, and
definitely.
This opening sequence is a progenitor to all of that.
Yeah, it has its own visual style. Yeah. It's a lot of it's made by, what was his name, Maurice Binder.
Yeah, that's what said at the end.
It looks a lot like something Saul Bass would do.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's no real visuals to it besides a bunch of differently colored dots.
Yeah.
All very in sync with music.
Yeah, very flashing lightsy sort of things. Yeah. And they didn't have a theme song for Dr.No, so they used the Bond theme.
Yeah.
Which, considering it's the first time it's ever been played on a screen,
it feels appropriate.
Yeah.
It's definitely respectable, seeing as it's the first one.
Yeah. Well, then in the middle of
obviously not the best.
Yeah, and then in the middle of it, it just transitions into an entirely different song.
Yeah.
With
women it looks like an iPod commercial.
Yeah, just colored silhouettes
of people dancing
to an entirely Caribbean beat.
And then it shifts again.
Well, yeah, the third shift I think makes it
to what turns out to be plot. Of three blind men just walking down the street Abbey Road style.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah, that segues into the first scene. So the whole... The title sequence is fun. Mm-hmm. Not the best, as we'll definitely see.
Yes.
Speaking of boring, how about this movie, huh?
The first 20 minutes are next to unwatchable. For me.
I don't know about
There's
that.
some intrigue in it. Where the blind people... Spoilers for the whole movie, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
If you thought we weren't going to spoil this 50-year-old movie...
55 now, God.
I look forward to,
ruining everything for you.
Yeah, it's paying for whatever charity helps you exist.
Your therapy bills. All that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the plot of this movie in general is kind of
pretty weak.
Yeah, it's really just an excuse to move from set piece to set piece.
Yeah, it's pretty generic stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously at the time it was new, it was exciting.
Yeah, it did really well. That's why we got a series of Bond films.
Yeah, one thing that in the first 20 minutes, my favorite thing was that I was really distracted by the blind people. Like, are these guys going to come into the plot? What's going on?
Yeah.
And then they straight up murder a dude.
Yeah.
Like they're faking being blind.
Yeah,
it's like, okay, that's interesting.
Execution style assassination. Yeah. It was a good shock.
Yeah.
That worked pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole general plot of this movie is that the bad guy Dr.No is trying to sabotage the U.S. space program by essentially
launching nukes at the moon?
No, he's using, I believe, radar or some kind of beam to mess up the guidance systems for the missiles and rockets that the U.S. is going to launch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, that makes
because
sense.
He's working for Spectre, the League of Bad Guys.
Yeah. Yeah, let's talk about the introduction of James Bond.
Yeah, it should be pretty important, of seeing James Bond for the first time. And it was
like 20 minutes in?
Yeah, and it was okay.
Yeah, I think it did a lot of good things, right? Like only introducing his hands first.
Right. He's playing at a casino table where this woman is absolutely kicking his ass.
I believe is supposed to be an homage to Casino Royale.
Probably.
Because that is canonically in the books.
Yes.
That is the first book.
Yes.
So it was probably just trying to ape off of that for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Probably because maybe TV movie people will get it. I don't know.
Or it might have just been a nod to anyone who's read it and say, this picks up right where Casino Royale supposedly leaves off, or something.
Yeah.
And it just starts with him with his hands, whether he's dealing the cards out to his opponent or opening his cigarette case. She asks him his name, and it just cuts right to a shot of him.
And that's after, so the whole reason that he says his name, like last name first.
Yes.
And then his whole name.
The classic James Bond moment.
Which is supposed to be like a cute little reaction to the lady who introduced herself that way.
Yes.
So that's interesting to think about. Like,
right.
If there wasn't that weird writer's quirk, we might not have had that mainstay.
And just, the delivery of the line is what really makes it.
Yes.
It's just adding that little coy pause after it.
Yeah, it's real neat.
Yeah. But yeah, the shot itself where they reveal him, it could have been better.
It's nothing special. The cinematography in this is very bare bones.
Yeah, it's pretty utilitarian.
But that's because I think it has more to do with the era of filmmaking.
Yes.
Like, this is back when no one quite knew what the movies were going to be yet.
Yeah.
So they were just like, let's just do whatever.
Yeah, whatever works.
So, like, until Kubrick came along with, 2001 A Space Odyssey, I want to say.
And then, of course, Star Wars changing everything.
Yeah, Star Wars just changed the way movies were made.
Yes.
But I think Kubrick changed the way that they were shot.
Right, okay.
So, this is shot very bare bones, very, okay, they need to see this, they need to see... There's no real artistic construction.
Yeah, in fact, there are a couple of moments in the movie that are very clearly jump cuts.
Yes.
Of the same shot being interrupted.
Yeah.
Just to cut time out.
To a different take, I believe.
Or something, yeah.
Because, this half of the take worked, but then someone up. So let's just go to this take where that half was fine.
Yeah, it doesn't happen a lot, but...
Yeah, at least two times.
Noticeable. It's noticeable those 2 times.
Yes.
And then, of course, do we want to get into the racism or the sexism first?
I feel like there's a lot more to go with the racism, so let's start with sexism.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So it's a Bond movie. Which means that every woman on the face of the planet wants to
yeah. There's very few moments where women are given agency in this. And I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to rack that up to the time that it was made.
Yes.
And
I would say that's...
And they're just trying to do a male power fantasy thing?
Yeah, and to be fair, pretty much every Bond film is a male fantasy.
Yeah.
So
I think they get better about it going forward,
right?
Where the Bond girls get more agency, especially in the Daniel Craig movies that we'll talk about way later. But that's about it. Also, the controversial statement that we talked about, made by Sean Connery about hitting women.
Yeah, that's
really squicky.
Yeah, they're also, of course.
Oh yeah, the really rapey moment that he has with the Chinese lady that he clearly knew was sent those guys to kill him, but he f***s her anyway. Yeah,
and even just the moment where she's just come out of the shower and is wearing only a couple of towels, and as she walks away from him, he just
Chinese henchman lady.
Yeah. And as she walks away from him, he just hangs on to one of the towels. She's not naked; he just takes the one around her shoulders. But it's like, dude, what are you?
Yeah, and he sniffs it.
Then he sniffs it, and you're like, okay, this is.
I'm pretty sure I'm almost certain that it's sometime in Goldfinger that he does sniff a woman's panties.
Oh God, we'll see.
We will see.
That'll be just a couple of Fraudcasts from now.
Sean Connery's does really squicky stuff with women,
and so does his James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh. Moving on to, since we're on the subject of the totally Chinese woman.
Yeah. Emma Stone playing.
No. It was pretty obvious that one of the Bond girls in this movie, of which there are like 3, by the way.
Yeah.
They're just throwing women at the screen.
This is pretty high on the Bond count, Bond girl meter.
Yeah.
He sticks his peen in quite a lot.
Many conquests in this movie.
Yeah.
The woman we're talking about in particular, it's very obvious that they just made up a white woman to look vaguely Chinese.
Yeah, they literally, at least they didn't have her squint her eyes, but they made her do her eye shadow or eyelashes.
Yes.
To where her eyes look slightly slanted.
Yeah, and that, of course, looking at it now, it's uncomfortable, but it's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, which opens us up to the racism in this movie.
Yeah,
a slight yellow face by Dr.No.
Yeah, him too.
It's only slight because they do a name drop of like, oh, I'm half Chinese.
Right.
Although in the book, I'm pretty sure he's all Chinese.
Yeah.
But at least they recognize like, oh, this dude doesn't even look vaguely.
Yeah, it's Chinese. Played by very much a white actor who has no semblance of accent.
They dress him up to look like Mao Zedong, basically.
Yeah.
Haircut and everything.
The Mandarin collar and the slick back hair. On the other hand, though, Dr. No is, I think, one of the more memorable Bond villains.
Yeah, he's definitely up there. He's got a menacing air about him.
Yeah.
But he's still able to keep that fun, silly stuff that we know and love.
Like he has metal hands.
Yeah.
Which, it sounds kind of goofy, but it actually make it pretty menacing.
I didn't even know about that until you told me about that.
Yeah.
Because I'm dumb and I don't pay attention to those things. He also has the same sort of thing, like the base full of henchmen that are just okay. With blowing up the world, and like he's got like a billion secretaries who are like running it like it's a hotel.
Yeah, at the end of the movie when the base is exploding, there's just a zillion people running every direction at the same time, and you're like, oh my god, does he have groundsmen and janitorial staff and henchmen and gosh,
like how's he pay for all this?
Yeah,
like Jesus, it's very campy, but it doesn't ever make him lose his menace.
Yeah,
it's neat that way.
Mm-hmm. Back on the subject of racism, though, how about our good old buddy Quarrel?
Oh yeah, dude, who's just he's a progenitor for Short Round.
A little bit, yeah.
In every way except for his exact race.
Yeah,
he's just like okie dokie, Mr. Bond. Like, Jesus.
And of course he's...
Oh, and who could forget
Pussfeller.
Pussfeller.
Don't know why the hell anyone would name or nickname someone Pussfeller.
Specifically this guy. If you guys haven't seen the movie, he does not look like a man you would ever in a million years would imagine have any sort of name, nickname, or otherwise to be Pussfeller.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like one of your dad's friends. Like,
yeah, he at one point Quarrel says that he wrestles alligators, and I'm like, get the out of here.
Yeah, like, this dude, no way. I don't buy it.
Yeah, and Quarrel, of course, being the black man in the action movie, has to die, right?
Yeah, and he dies
in the most... the weirdest way possible.
He's just there to serve plot.
Yeah.
Which is just like, okay, we need someone to have boats so we can get to the island.
Mm-hmm.
And we need someone to drive the boat. And then it's like, okay, we need someone to have James Bond to talk to. And then the Bond girl shows up.
And then the Bond girl's here, so now we have to get rid of the other guy.
Like 2 scenes later, I think he gets hit by flames.
Yeah, he gets killed by the Dragon of Crab Key.
Which is
so dumb.
It just looks dumb. I don't get how anyone could ever mistake it for a dragon.
There's this superstition going around the islands that Crab Key is haunted by a dragon, but it's very anybody with eyes could see that its tracks are tire treads.
Yeah, it's just a tank.
Its eyes are headlights, and it's got a flamethrower mounted on the front of the hood of the vehicle.
Clearly just a tank.
Yeah,
very
with
obvious.
a dragon face painted on it.
Yes, which at least they're having fun.
Yeah.
Like
again, it's the Bond movie being campy and silly.
Yes,
which is fine.
Yeah, but it's so hard to suspend your disbelief.
Right, and Luke was saying while we were watching this point that this is one of the Bond movies that could do with a remake.
Yeah,
for reasons like that.
Yeah, just because it was the '60s. It was super low budget. They couldn't do everything they wanted to do,
and now we actually have Bond cliches and tropes to fall back on. That this movie kind of had, but since it was the first one,
I don't. They haven't announced the title or the plot of Bond 25.
Yes,
I think it could be cool since it's an anniversary Bond to touch back on the first one and just do a remake of Dr.No.
I would be okay with that.
I think that could be interesting to see Daniel Craig take on Dr.No. Because they introduced the campier stuff in Spectre, and while not all of it worked, I would argue that the campy stuff worked in Spectre. The only things that didn't work were some of the plot, and the character dynamics.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, though.
Yeah,
much later.
Yeah, but anywho,
in a couple of years or whatever.
Anywho,
so Dr.No, I'd say it was pretty dang good.
Oh, it had the best model work, I think.
Yeah, we didn't touch on that.
Yeah, we talked... Not very many models, but the ones that were there were pretty, they're very pretty.
Yeah, especially the Dr.No's base on Crab Key, which you only see in a few shots. Yeah. Because it's based on a real place, though.
You get a sense pretty good look at it.
Yeah. The overhead shots in particular look very good until you realize that the boat floating in the water is definitely a toy. But if you ignore that, I for a long time didn't realize it was a model.
Yeah, it's very, very pretty. The only other thing that I have an issue with is the other Bond girl of Honey Rider.
Oh, yeah. While she does have the iconic walking up the beach in a bikini.
Yeah, the iconic bikini, which holds up.
Yes.
In every sense of the word. Just to be complete pigs about it. But she's just so nothing of a character. She's got nothing to do. The whole reason that she's on the island at first is because she collects shells.
Yeah.
That's her job. She collects shells.
That's how she makes her living. Yeah. But to be totally fair with her, she does have some reason to hate Dr.No, and that it's strongly suggested that he killed her father.
Yeah, but
and then she had that moment where she talked about she killed a man with a Black Widow spider and used the one that would make sure that he didn't die for a week. Yeah. And even Bond is going, that's messed up.
Yeah, she's got some edge to her.
Yeah,
but the actress's performance does not convey that edge,
and it doesn't help that the actress is dubbed.
Yeah, and it also does. Many people in this movie are dubbed.
Yeah,
and it's baffling.
The dubs are pretty obvious. Hers was less so. Yeah. I thought it meshed better than the others, but
it was baffling for certain people. The only thing with her,
she doesn't have much agency toward the end of it. All you know is that she could kill a man, and then she just gets kind of shut away while Bond does the action later.
Yeah, which whatever, 60s, but I don't know. It's just
you set up a good character and you waste it.
Yeah, the only job that this one had to do, at least historically, was set up James Bond as a character. Mm-hmm. And I think it does that very, very well.
Oh, yes.
Now, is that a likable character right now? I would say probably not. I mean, he saves the day from the Russians, but looking at it through modern sensibilities, he's basically rapes a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He, after knowing for damn sure that she wants to kill him, he's a good detective. There's that.
Yes,
he did establish that at this point he's using more
forensics.
Yeah. He doesn't have any fancy gadgets from the Q branch.
Right. we get a quick glimpse of the early Q, but he's so bland that forget it.
Who I feel like his real name is Roger Portnoy. It's
Major Boothroyd.
Yeah, I never looked at the name, but just looking at him, he looks like a Roger Portnoy. And he also is vaguely racist towards the Jamaicans.
Yeah.
And he just he's murders without any sympathy,
Luke, Bond has a license to kill.
I am aware.
Yeah.
He went to the DRM, Department of Rampant Murder.
Got that license.
Yeah, filled out that paperwork. So he earned it. But just he's not that likable to me at this point.
Sure, yeah.
Just because
he doesn't have much charm to him at this point. There are a couple of glib one-liners like, they must have been on their way to a funeral, or make sure he doesn't get away. Sergeant, talking about a dead body.
Yeah, he's talking about he says that line about on their way to a funeral right after they drive down and just die.
Yeah,
and he says it to this construction dude who's like, "What do you think?
What just happened? They were on their way to a funeral." You kind of expect the guy to go, "Dude,
respect.
What the hell?
Being rude, like." I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, and...
Maybe I'm being too SJW.
Probably a little bit, but at least there are problems with this movie that should have been addressed, or just were part of the style of the time. Like, there are some scenes that drag on for a while.
It is not unwatchable. It is a fun watch.
Yeah, it's one of the better Bond movies, I think. But it's got some...
It's got some 60s problems, bro. Yeah. But I don't know.
I give it a thumbs up and recommend you watch it for sure.
Oh yeah, I would say just at least for historical context of seeing the first Bond movie, it's important to watch it.
Yeah.
I would just say watch it like you watch Blazing Saddles. You know, like don't mind the N-words. They're just part of the time.
Yeah.
Just keep going. And I don't know. All right, so.
Cool. So this has been our review, briefly, of Dr.No.
Yeah, part 1 of our ongoing series investigating the Bond series.
Oh boy.
So next up is...
From Russia with Love.
Russia with Love.
And it's going to be a good one. This is one of my favorites, so I hope you enjoy it too.
I've seen bits of it.
Okay. Right. Yeah, so please leave us a comment telling us what you like and didn't like about Dr.No. Recommend some other stuff for us to watch. I mean, as we said, we're going to go through all the Bond films.
Yeah, so if there's another long-running series that's not Bond or Godzilla, because we already did Godzilla, feel free to let us know about it. And if it's a TV show, it has to be less than 100 episodes.
That's fair.
Yes, no syndication rights.
Please subscribe and like if you liked what you heard.
Yep. Let us know if we're total in the comments. I always love to see that, so does my mother. So, have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.